Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Crystal, what is on our excellent show today?
We have such a great show today. So first of all, Sam Cedar making his rising debut.
Right.
Excited about that one. He's going to talk about the future of the Democratic Party. Also, big poll out of Iowa. We have to talk about the implications of that. And you're taking a look at what is real in the corruption allegations against Joe Biden. All that and so much more today on Rising. All right, Saagar, what are you looking at?
Well, President Donald Trump has violated the sacrosanct rules of Washington, D.C. by asking Ukraine to investigate the son of potential rival, former Vice President Joe Biden. This is, of course, a corrupt and illegal ask because the Washington press corps has decided once and for all there is no malfeasance whatsoever behind Hunter Biden's totally legit business dealings in Ukraine and China. Biden himself declared the case closed on Saturday, citing the lack of media coverage of Hunter's business dealings as evidence. Let's take a listen.
Wait a second. Not one single credible outlet has given any credibility to his assertion. Not one single one. And so I have no comment except the president should start to be president.
We've talked a lot about media bias in this show and how much of the elite media is a de facto arm of the ruling class. This is a great example because if the so-called credible media decides that this isn't a story, then they won't cover it. Then corrupt people get to cite their lack of coverage as the absence of evidence. Let's review the facts again, shall we? Hunter Biden made untold sums of money while his father was vice president of the United States in highly dubious and almost certainly untoward ways. Hunter was being paid $50,000 a month by a Ukrainian energy company to sit on their board. He has no background in the industry whatsoever, and of course was on their board for one reason only: to buy influence in the United States government. To make matters even worse and even more complicated, the company was being investigated by Ukraine's government for corruption. The head of that corruption investigation was fired after intense pressure from Vice President Joe Biden while he was serving as the point person for the administration on Ukraine. Biden denies he ever spoke to his son about his business dealings, and he gets really angry if you ask him. Just take a look at how he responded to Fox News' Peter Doocy when he asked him over the weekend.
I've never spoken to my son about the overseas business.
And so how do you know?
Here's what I know. I know Trump deserves to be investigated. He is violating every basic norm of a president. Everybody looked at this, and everybody's looked at it and said there's nothing there. Ask the right question.
Do any of us really believe the Ukrainian energy company was paying Hunter Biden for anything other than political influence? As Matt Breunig of the People's Policy Project said on Twitter, Hunter Biden was on the board of Burisma because of his deep knowledge of the Ukrainian energy industry, just like Chelsea Clinton is on the board of Expedia because of her deep knowledge of the online travel agency market. If this was just run-of-the-mill corruption like the Clintons appeared to have engaged in, then I guess we could all move on. But it actually gets a lot worse. Hunter accompanied his father on a 2013 trip to Beijing, catching a ride on Air Force Two. Days later, his private equity firm inked a $1 billion deal with the Chinese government, despite having literally no expertise in the subject whatsoever. I'm sensing a pattern here. Biden, coincidentally, was point person for the Obama administration's China policy at the time. I used to go to some of his speeches around here in 2016. I remember how he regaled audiences with pride, how he'd spent more time with Chinese President Xi Jinping than any other American official. You don't think that $1 billion had any influence on those conversations at all? What I've outlined to you is just what's in the public domain through the dogged work of a few reporters who refuse to swim with the mainstream. Just imagine what else is out there. We need to investigate the Bidens now. And Crystal, the reason I'm so hung up on this is because watching so much of the press corps just brush this aside as a complete non-entity, this is what will take him down ultimately. I'm absolutely convinced of it because there is so much there and it received absolutely no coverage. And just one subpoena could tell us even more about how much money Hunter Biden. Again, this is all through lawsuits and what's in the public domain.
Right.
Do you know how much more there is in federal tax filings?
Yeah.
God knows.
Well, and I mean, look, Let's not make a false equivalency here. I think what Trump did is completely unacceptable. To pressure Ukraine to investigate Biden for political gain, not okay. Let's put that to the side. This is Hillary Clinton 2.0.
Yeah.
Does anyone really believe that Hunter Biden got these positions on of his own merit? I mean, he worked for a credit card issuer while Biden was in the Senate. This is a pattern of behavior, and frankly, it's part of the reason why we ended up with Donald Trump. Because people look at this sort of routine corruption that the press typically just turns a blind eye to, but the public is sick of it. And so, no, it's not the same as Trump. Trump is way worse, but this is how he muddies the waters, and this is how he will end up getting reelected.
And the Democrats are acting like, oh, well, as long as Biden himself didn't get a $50,000 payment from the Ukrainian energy company, then it's not corruption. That's not how corruption works, people.
Right.
That's so, like, you know how it works? You pay a guy's son $50 grand a month, and you expect something in order to work out. And who knows if it did? Maybe we should find out.